Hey everybody, Mr. K here. Gonna do my second video on this wheel, and we're gonna true it or get it started to true and give you the lowdown on how to do that. So first thing we're gonna do is you look over here and you want to get this spec, and it tells you this is the rear wheel. We're gonna go off of the drum flange with a straight edge, and for an 18 aluminum rim we're going to need 5/8 off center on front and lower. Okay, so what I do for that is I take my straight edge, okay, and then I take like a base nut off an old shovel head. Is, as you can see, I'm trying to do it with one hand, it's 5/8. Okay, so 5/8. So what we can do then is we'll take that and we'll tape it up here and up here. So that way when we put our straight edge on the wheel, the nut will be touching here and here, and we'll have the right offset. You got to make sure you have the right offset off of your flange. Okay, and it's real nice because once you get it nice and loose, you can see how that moves. Okay, and it's also going to help you get it straightened. I have the wheel in a truing stand, and it's based up here, so we can go ahead and spin it and get it going. But first thing we're going to do though is make sure that this offset is good with our flange, which is here, just like the book says. And we're going to use this straight edge, and I'll tape that up, and then I'll be back to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so what I did is I taped my nuts to the flange and the straight edge, so that's down here, and then I can push that rim and see how much I need to be. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten the spokes up by hand until I get that really close. So that's what I'm going to do, holding that there. And then once I get that, I'll just be able to have to get the up and down play out. But that's just what I have to do there. Okay? All right. Okay, so I got them all pretty close, snug, to where the straight edge is up against the flange, and I have my 5/8 gap up against, and my 5/8 gap, and all my spokes are pretty snug. But you'll be able to see, like, some of the spokes are sticking out. There's another one sticking out. Okay, and then some of them over on the opposite side don't have hardly any spokes sticking out. So you're going to have a real high spot, as you can see, real high spot. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to loosen these, loosen the ones with a lot of, okay, loosen them. I'm just doing it with my hands right now. And I'm going to loosen these ones just with my fingers. Okay. And then I'm going to go to the opposite side of the wheel over here, and I'm going to tighten them just with my hands, because you're going to start working them back and forth. I'm trying to do this still with enough wiggle. It's starting to get a little tight, but as you can see, it's got a pretty good hop, and you can see some of the spokes are sticking out right here and here, so we need to get them all equal. So we're going to go ahead and loosen those. You can feel them getting tight because I'm pulling I'm pulling on this side, and then I go over here and I tighten this side, because what you want is you want that thing to be centered on there. Okay. Now eventually we're going to get to, there's a sequence of spokes that help you get to that, but we're not even close to that yet, or a dial indicator or anything like that. So I'm just going to continue to work back and forth to loosen, to get all these spokes back where they need to be. And I'm going to edit this because it's going to take a long time, as you can see. And then you go directly across to the other side, and you can see some of the threads are showing, so you're going to tighten those to so that way all the way around your wheel it's going to be close to the same. We just had a starting point using the straight edge. Yeah, they're still pretty good eyes, but we got a long ways to go before, there we go. You can also do it by hand if you see. Yeah, see how high that is. So go to your high spot, or here, as you can see, that spoke is sticking out. So you're going to loosen it, and then you're going to go ahead and loosen this one. And, oh, look at that one. That one's really tight. You get to the spot where you need the spoke wrench on that one, and you need to loosen it. And that's probably the one that's keeping everything from, you know, loosen. And then go to your opposite side, and you can see, look, those holes are hardly filled, so we're going to go ahead and snug those up to where we get it pretty close. You can see that one and that one. Yeah. And if you see, it's just a balancing act on this thing. And you'll see it. Okay. Oh, wow, yeah. Yep, there's some more tall ones we got to loosen so we can get that hub pulled together. And then you just do the opposite side. Yeah. See, and it still is flexible enough to where you can work with it. Once we get it super tight, I will go over how to count the 4 spokes, mark it, check the 4, and then it'll bring you right back around. I'm pretty far from that now, so I'm just going to get this thing close, and I'll come back to the next step. Okay, well, we're back, and as you can see, I got her pretty close, and I got all the spokes pretty well snug. Okay, and if you take your bar, your straight edge, and you put your 5/8 spacers on there, you can still see we're pretty good here, and we're pretty good there. Okay, so now we just got to start with the truing of the wheel, actually. So I was taught this a long time ago, that you take and you're going to start with, let's say you have your right side spokes and you have your left side spokes. Okay, so you'll start on the, let's say start on the right side spokes, and you go to your inner spoke. Okay, so right where your inner spoke is, and you put a little mark right there. Okay, that marker will come right off with some carb cleaner. Okay, and so what you want to do is you want to take your spoke wrench and you want to turn it till it gets pretty snug, a little snug. Okay, and then this same inner spoke, you're going to count 1, 2, 3, and you're going to tighten that one. You're going to tighten that one about the same. Okay, and then you go 1, 2, 3 inner spokes. You turn every third inner spoke. Okay, hopefully I'm getting this here because I'm trying to do it with my... All right, and then you go 1, 2, 3 inner spoke, and you're tightening that. You'll see some of them are really loose compared to others, but you're drawing it in there. You go 1, 2, 3. Do the same. That one I can do with my hand. Okay. So then you go 1, 2, 3, and you're noticing the tone of the spoke as you're snugging it. Okay. This, I will tell you, when you're doing this takes a lot of patience. You're not going to do it right off the bat. Okay. So then you go 1, 2, 3, and you're going through here. You know, like this. And you go 1, 2, 3, 3, back. And what will happen, and you're listening, 1, 2, 3. Oh, that one's loose. One, 2, 3. That one's dull, so you want to snug it. 1, 2, 3. And then it comes back to your original mark. Okay, so you erase that. You know that this inner spoke is done. Okay, all right. And as you can see, it's starting to get there pretty good. Okay, so now you're going to go over to this other side, and you're going to take the inner spoke right here, and you're going to mark it. And then you're going to go tighten it a little bit, and then you're going to go 1, 2, 3, tighten that inner spoke, and keep going until you're back at your original line. And then you come back over and you do your outer spoke. And you do the same thing. You mark it on a rim, you go 1, 2, 3, tighten it a few times. 1, 2, 3, tighten it a few times until you go all the way around. That way you have hit all 10 of those outer spokes. You come over here and you do the same thing till you have all 10 of your outer spokes tightened. And as you're doing it, you'll be able to tell, listen, dull. And as you get tight, you'll hear them get the sound. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you what we got. Okay, so I set my dial indicator up against the rim, and you can see I have it on 0, and we're going to slowly turn the rim and see how far we're out. About 6, about 10 there. Okay, so what I need to do is go back to those high spots and get it to where my needle will still stay close to the 0 as we're turning it. So I'm going to keep working, but yes, the dial indicator is something that you need to use. And okay, so I actually got it to where I'm within, as you can see, I'm moving maybe 6. There's one spot on the rim that's bent, but I got about 6 thousandths. Right there's that high spot. Got about 6 thousandths. As you can see, it's high, and then it stays about about 6 thousandths total movement, which is usually within spec. As you can see, that's pretty darn good. And we still have our offset right here with the straight edge and the 5/8. So we're good. We're good. Now we just got to do any kind of up and down, and as you can see, I have an indicator for that, and that's actually really good. So I'd say we're pretty done with this wheel. That's how you true it, with a truing stand, patience, a simple spoke wrench, and then a nice dial indicator. Okay, so hopefully you guys kind of understand that. My best advice is to go ahead and just keep practicing. All right, everybody, later.